What's up, Shred Nation? How we all doing? Episode 91. Time to roll it out. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Today we're going to be talking about gut health. We're diving in on digestion. So get your goggles out. Get your favorite Speedo out. We're going to dive in on digestion today, this morning, on today's show. So the show is here Monday through Friday for you new folks out there. For you new folks that are new to the School of Shred, the show is here Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, you can take the show on the go if you go to iTunes and search The School of Shred. You can also do that if you go on Spotify, The School of Shred, the one and only. I like to say the two different ways, the and the School of Shred. And then you also have video on Facebook and YouTube. Instagram, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to be doing Instagram anymore. Instagram's giving me issues, and it's done on a cellular device. It's not done on this nice high-quality camera with this nice high-quality microphone. So we might have to drop IG. You might have to come find us. You might have to come find us on Facebook. But that's the show. The show is here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. So as we talk about gut health and digestion today, we're going to talk about intestinal permeability and some interesting things about inflammation. We talk quite a bit about that on this show, which is a good thing. That's a wellness thing. That's a wellness trait. And as we talk about this today, I'm offering you a free guide. If you go to schoolofshredpodcast.com, you can download my free gut health guide for my blood, sweat, and tears, creating this for you so you can have a play-by-play of how to increase your gut health. Gut health, what is gut health? Gut health is it is intestinal health, but it's digestive health. Intestinal health just sounds like sounds a little grimy, a little scary. But digestive health sounds holistic and healthy and very granola-y. So anyway, go to schoolofshredpodcast.com, folks. You can get yourself on the email list. You get free content, the little trickle effect of free holistic health and fitness content. So this is the School of Shred for anybody tuning in. This is the show that's designed to help you shred your old and make better your new. All right. We don't just shred body fat on this show. We shred habits no longer serving us. We shred old belief patterns no longer serving us. And we want to become better day by day in every way. And that's mental health, spiritual health, and physical health, because they're all related. The longer you do this and the more goals that you achieve through your physical health, you're going to realize that it really was a seed from mental health and spiritual health, ultimately, as you uncover and flip these stones, turn these stones over, okay? Spiritual health is a healthy relationship with your inner voice. Doesn't have to be organized religion. If it is, that's great. Good for you. If it's not, great. Good for you. But spiritual health should mean more than I think some people get intimidated by that because they think of religion if they're not into it. But it's really being able to touch base with yourself, your inner voice, your intuition, and that can help guide you in all sorts of endeavors in life. We need to be in touch with ourselves. Meditation is fantastic for this, but we talk about a lot of this stuff on this show. But today we're going to talk about diet. So let's get into it, huh? Let's get into it. So we're going to dive in on digestion. So again, like I said, get your favorite Speedo out and get your swimming goggles out. Now, let me ask you something before we dive in on digestion here. What kind of Speedos do you like? Are you like a thigh high person? You a thigh high guy? Or are you like a knee high? What are you? Huh? Are you like a full on like underwear type Speedo? Just have that image in your head right now as we go to get into this, okay? Yeah. All right. So diving in on digestion, we're going to talk about intestinal permeability here first and foremost, okay, folks? So digestion, let's just kind of have a conversation on digestion. So when I'm looking at somebody who wants to lose body fat or wants to gain muscle, if they want to get their body healthy, really. I mean, that's what a lot of this stuff is losing fat and gaining muscle is honestly side effects of a system that works properly. There's a lot of stuff that we tend to assume. We tend to assume we just need to get more calories coming in than going out. Okay. If we want to gain weight, if we want to gain muscle, more calories got to come in. If we want to lose fat, we think we just got to eat less and exercise more. I'm going to talk to you about why that's probably not where you should start. And it starts here at digestion, and it starts at inflammation. And we have to not jump these steps and skip these steps, which I see a lot of folks doing. Getting into a negative energy balance can help some of the stuff we're going to talk about. However, it's not as direct. So, I think you owe it to yourself to look into this stuff here. And so intestinal permeability is also called leaky gut. And it is when the fencing, if you were to picture fencing, the doors are opening too much to food particles. They get into your bloodstream and you have an immune response. So your body starts to attack itself to it. So this causes chronic systemic inflammation. And if you don't know what that is, systemic inflammation is when your body sends out a stress response to the entire system. So your entire system is stressed out. Whereas if you were to stub your toe or roll your ankle and you get all that fluid buildup in the ankle, that's localized inflammation, usually acute, usually short term. But that is what we could consider the body creating an internal splint to protect you from further injury. It's a great design. It's a great design. The body has many great designs in it. That's one of them. It doesn't know that you can go down to the pharmacy and get yourself a wrap for your ankle. It creates a wrap inside of your skin, and it swells up and it protects you and it alters your movement and you compensate. Compensatory patterns are one of the many beautiful tools of the human body. If you roll that ankle, you're going to figure out a way to get to your front door so you can get to your car, then to get to work and function. It might not look pretty, but compensation is an amazing thing. So that's acute inflammation. That's localized inflammation. Also, when we train with weights, we train our muscles, we get acute inflammation. Our legs swell up, our chest swells up, our arms swell up. Big arms. Throw me a flex emoji if you guys got big arms, or if you want big arms, or if you're in pursuit of big arms, or if you just want toned arms for the ladies out there. But that's good stuff right there. That's the acute local inflammation. We want that good stuff. But this systemic inflammation is where our body doesn't know where to send this message to. So it just sends it out. So we start holding water weight. And our blood pressure can go up from this. And a lot of these markers of poor health start to go up. And this is what's very interesting is it's oftentimes people, I'll give an example. Clients will come back from, say, a vacation. They go, oh, I lost 5 pounds, over the last couple of weeks, but it was just water weight from the vacation. It's like, yeah, it was inflammatory weight that would increase your insulin resistance and increase your blood pressure and increase all of your markers for poor health. So it's good that we got rid of that. That's not a bad thing. We should see losing inflammatory water weight as a prerequisite to getting to burning fat and building muscle. Okay. If we're building muscle, even if we're on a higher calorie plan, you still don't want excess inflammation. This is why you're still going to focus on sleep. You're still going to focus on keeping insulin sensitivity up. You don't want to just have poor health and think that you're going to be able to gain muscle. So it goes both ways for these body transformation goals. We want to get rid of chronic inflammation. So anyway, as I said, body's storing all this water. So we want to fix intestinal permeability. We want to fix the leaky gut that's allowing food in and it's causing an immune response. We want to repair the gut lining so we get back to absorbing a proper amount of nutrition that's not causing an inflammatory response. Sometimes we have to pull foods out temporarily. It's not always permanent. And so this is this is one of the things I have a lot of fun coaching people in, is because we don't get dogmatic about one style of eating or one food product, because I get to pick on every nutrient that people think is healthy, depending on the client, their goal, what they have available as far as digestion abilities. So sometimes I pull fiber on people. Sometimes I pull vegetables on people. Oh no, not the vegetables. Sometimes I pull meat on people. And we just play trial and error in an intelligent way, in an educated way, to get intestinal permeability where it needs to be and fix that leaky gut so this person can get rid of their inflammation, which helps them get back to the goal they have of body transformation. So anyway, we got to fix this immune response. When we fix this immune response, we fix the systemic inflammation. When we fix the systemic inflammation, the stress response, we can then unclog the hormones. When your body is inflamed, hormones are also not working properly. Okay? Hormones are signalers. There are major signalers. Many studies have shown this. So if we're talking about losing fat and being in a calorie deficit, what you're really trying to do is affect your hormones. The minute you go too low for too long and you get a starvation response, that's when your hormones will regulate and get you back to your, they'll play with that thermostat. We're trying to change this thermostatic needle in our metabolism, and that's done through affecting hormones. Okay, now that also is coupled with the calories in, calories out, the CETO type deal, but we got to talk about unclogging hormones and getting rid of inflammation. And then we can get to this thermodynamics thing that everybody likes to talk about, which is a very complex issue because it's very complex because it's not just contingent on how much you're eating, it's contingent on how much your body is going to burn through heat energy, through movement. It's not just movement though. There's heat energy, there's maintaining blood pressure, all sorts of interesting stuff. There's been some studies done where they did starvation studies and their blood pressure dropped, their sleep dropped, they were cold all the time. And what happens is when you take in less, you burn less through other means, not just exercise. And so I've had this happen before where I've dieted too hard, where you think you just need to keep cutting calories or exercising more, but that's really not the best way to do things. You got to rev up the metabolism. So some people, if you've ever had a personal trainer, sometimes trainers will say you need to eat, we need to eat more. We need to eat a lot. And I've had a lot of clients lose weight on a lot of food. And it's because what happens when we feed more is the metabolism speeds up more. Now, that's not, it doesn't mean just go eat as much as you can and think that you're going to burn body fat. But what it means is that there's a system of trial and error that needs to, it's not black and white. So if you're trying to lose body fat, it's not just go run tons of miles every day, hammer yourself with exercise, and then just eat like a rabbit and think that, you're going to be set up long term. You can lose weight short term, but then when your body pushes back, when ghrelin goes up and you start to get really hungry, then you're gonna fall off the rails. So we want to, again, fix the immune response we have to food. So fix our leaky gut. When we fix our leaky gut, we fix our systemic inflammation. When we fix our systemic inflammation, we can unclog our hormone profile and get our hormones working correctly and signaling our body correctly, signaling the law of thermodynamics correctly. Then we can get into worrying about calories in and calories out. All right, which is a big part of this, absolutely. And so that could be applicable to both fat loss and muscle gain. If you want to gain weight, you also want to be worried about calories in, calories out at some point, but it's after you've gotten rid of leaky gut. So you're digesting, absorbing, and assimilating the nutrition from the food you eat. Then you get rid of the systemic inflammation. So when you hammer yourself with your workouts, it's only acute and it goes away, and then you grow, and then we unclog our hormones. So I'm going to give you a couple ways that I have helped people improve their digestive health. A few examples that you can take if you wish and implement them in your plan. But these are examples of what I've used on myself and my clients that I've trained, the real life folks that I get to train every day. Shout out to all my real clients out there who are listening right now. The first one, and this is a different one. This is one that can be hard for people because we get on these teams. The first one is if somebody's got some gut health issues going on, I might pull fiber temporarily. I don't want the large intestine fermenting too much. That might be causing some issues, right? So I might want to pull fiber. Now, pull it forever? No. This is what I'm saying is like, we like to get in this binary thought process of, oh, it's good. If it's good, it's always good. If it's bad, it's always bad. It's not like that. So fiber to stop the fermentation process in the gut. That would be number one. Number two is I might temporarily reduce fermented foods. Yes, the probiotics that I love so much, that we all love so much, because you have 10 bacteria to one human cell, and most of them reside in your gut. Your gut is your second brain. But if you're compromised, you might do well to reduce lactobacillus strains. There is some real good research on this that shows if you have dirty genes, like a DAO gene, if you have these dirty genes, these fermented foods can actually cause an issue. Okay, so you want to repair your gut. So things like bone broth and things like kimchi and sauerkraut, depending on if you're very compromised, you might not want to have them temporarily, but eventually they can really help you potentially. So again, not binary thinking. It's not one or the other. It's a thought process. But these are things that you might not be thinking of. So if you have a lot of digestive issues right now, you're gassy, you're bloated after meals, you're getting tired, you're feeling inflamed, like you got stiff joints, you feel stiff, you feel achy, you might want to look into your gut health. This is kind of the starting point. This is why I talk about this so much, because it's really the first thing that I like to look at with somebody is what is their current state of their digestive health, because everything supersedes, or everything is after gut health, in my opinion. Because if we can't get the nutrition into the bloodstream and directing it how we need to, then we're in trouble. It's like the first place we need to look. So this is why I spend so much time talking about this, because it affects every major goal, whether it's just wellness, whether it's fat loss, or whether it's muscle gain. So this, I want to implant this knowledge in your head. So we reduce fiber, we might reduce fermented foods, and then we might try some fasting to repair the gut. So we might try some fasting and allow the body to work from within, and heal itself without being burdened with constantly having to ferment food in the intestines, and allow it some rest and recovery. If you're really inflamed, like say you go for you're started running and your big toe gets inflamed, and you get this you get like kind of a blister kind of stewing on that guy, right? You got like red inflamed kind of blister. What do you think the best option is? Option A, to give it rest and to allow it to recover and reduce its inflammatory signal, and maybe you might ice it or something like that. You rest it. And then option B would be go for another run. Now, I like where your head's at. If you picked option B, I like that your mindset. I like that mindset. That mindset's a really good mindset. However, it's probably best if you allow inflammation to decrease and you take care of that blister so it doesn't pop. It's the same thing with your gut. If you think about your gut right now, if you have this red inflamed gut, I'm just gonna say red because we think of inflammation as red. If you have this big inflamed gut, and then you continually are putting food in there and fiber in there, and you have all this activity going on, and you're asking it to do a bunch of stuff, that might not be the best thing. Whereas if you just don't eat for extended periods of time and you're drinking water and you allow all of the cells to start to work from within, that might be a good option. So that's what I'm saying. It might be a good option. So all of these are things to try in the short term to improve gut health and intestinal permeability, also called leaky gut. Then long term, you might want to look at rotating foods. I like to, when I have a client, what I do is I ask them to rotate their foods on a weekly basis. Just rotate your foods around. When we locate foods that work for your body, typically, there's a list of earth-grown nutrients that I like to try and get in people's bodies, because I'm just a big believer in foods that have been around for a long period of time. I'm not a fan of processed food. That's my opinion. But I don't encourage that kind of stuff. I mean, it's going to happen here and there, but I don't try to have people schedule it, and I don't try to have that be a regular thing. I think we've been conditioned by advertising to think that packaged foods are somehow healthy, and we've done a bang-up job of making people think that it's only calories that matter when we don't acknowledge hormone responses to foods. So, one of the biggest diseases in this country is diabetes, and that is a hormone issue. That is not a calorie issue. It might go together. It's how your body allocates calories, but it is a hormonal issue because it's called insulin resistance. What is insulin? It is a hormone. So we want to look at that. So we rotate foods, and then again, we can keep fasting in the routine long term. So short term, like I said, temporarily reducing fiber might help stop the fermentation process. We can also stop the fermentation process by temporarily reducing probiotics and fermented foods to like shave off some of the bacteria and not feed them. So there's not a bunch of activity going on in there. And then also fasting to repair the gut. So just withholding food. It's typically I'll start somebody on a 16-hour fast, do the 16-8 method. There's all sorts of methods. And I have guides on that and everything. schoolofshredpodcast.com if you want to learn more on any of this stuff. You get the free gut health guide. It talks a lot about this, so you can read it and print it off and have it. But anyway, that can help quite a bit. And then long term, you just want to look at continuing some fasting can be good, where it just allows the body to heal from within. And then rotating foods. So does anybody have any questions who's watching live right now? Anybody have any questions? And you better ask them quick because I'm going to get off here. Tomorrow we will be back for episode 92 of the School of Shred. Boy, I'm getting the heebie-jeebies here. I'm getting nervous. We're almost at episode 100. This is crazy to think about. There's been a lot of free information provided for you on these shows. There's been a lot of stuff. I hope you're listening to them all. You might just be able to change your life just by listening to this show right here. So if you can, please go to iTunes and do a review for the podcast. We need to try and bump those numbers up. I got rookie numbers right now. We need to bump those numbers up. It will help a lot. If you send me your email, I will hook you up with something special, something secret, some secret training. Ask any questions that you have, because this Friday we are doing our next question and answer session. It's all about you. It's all about Shred Nation on Fridays. So I like to answer questions from listeners and viewers and all that good stuff. So with that, I want you guys to stay strong and healthy in body. Stay relentless and energized in spirit, and stay determined in your pursuits today, school. That spells shred. Now go shred the day and get better in every dang way. Until next time, class is dismissed. Bye-bye.